right? I'm sure. Yes, okay. And then you know how to do the side plane meltdowns like this, I'm sure. Yes, it is a different angle. It's just literally on your side plane. So instead of going from, like with a regular meltdown, if I'm doing, okay, so if I'm here, I would be behind my back here, and then I would be in front of my body here. You don't go as many positions. You're just going side to side, right? So you're going behind your back and then in front of your body, and then behind your back and in front of your body, like this. You're doing this, you're doing it like this. So now turn 90 degrees to your right and just do it on the side plane instead of doing it on the front and back plane. Yes, so your hips are like that, so it's on the side plane. Well, it's because it's like a half meltdown, sort of, is what it is. Okay, let's start with your left hand, so face your left. Okay, so you can see. If you start with your left hand and underhand, right, then you would cross to the front side like this. This is really obvious. It's just like a weave crossover. And then what you would do is come back home just for the second so you can feel it. And then you would go behind your back like this and cross to the other side, right? So then you skip the position on the home side and you go away on the front and then away on the back, right? So it's just front to back, and you carry it through the home side, right? So if you're here, you go over the top to the back, then you go across the bottom to the front. Well, this will help you with behind the back weaves for sure. Yeah, all you do is, and if you turn this way and you look at it this way, so you can see the petals, then it's across in the front, across in the back, across in the front, across in the back, across in the front, across in the back, across in the front, across in the back. So let's drill this 10 times, and 9 times, and 8 times, 7 times, 6 times, and 5 more, 4 more, 3 more, 2 more, 1 more, and then let's do the right hand, which I imagine will be substantially easier. Also, you could do this in overhand, not just in underhand. I think underhand is easier for most people. So cross up the front, and then the back, and then the front, and then the back, and then the front, and then the back, and then the front, and then the back. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. I'm gonna face the other way so you can see the home side. You're going like this. You're crossing, then you're doing a beat here, and then you're crossing again. There's no beat on this side. So you do a carry. And what I mean by that is you either carry it across the top, where you're going over the top as it goes to the other side, or you're carrying it across the bottom, where you go across the bottom to the other side. So when you go behind your back like this, to get it to the front, you go across the bottom and then cross to the side. And then when you're coming from the front, you go across the top to go behind the back. Across the bottom, across the top, across the bottom, across the top, across the bottom, across the top. This is also true with the other hand, so I just didn't notice that you were not doing the carry on the other side also, because you may not know enough behind the back for this to feel comfortable. Start with some of these, just to go front to back so that you can, side to side, so that you can feel the sensation of moving the poi from home to away, home to away. And notice how I'm keeping my poi low and tight in the crossover. And then you can add the front position in once you get more comfortable with that. And I think that's useful as a drill on both sides. Just being able to do the home and away. And then you'll notice if you look at my hips, as I'm crossing, I'm opening my hip so that I can make space, right? When I open my hip to the left, as my left hand crosses, my right hip comes forward, which makes space for the poi to slip on the right plane of my body, right? So if I have my hips, I mean, your hips are not as big as mine, but even still, it would help, right? So if I'm like this, it's a lot harder to get past the hip than if I turn the hip this way to allow the poi to slip in that sort of side plane slot. Because what'll happen is you'll swivel from one side to the other, like this. So this is the side plane meltdown that we were doing. So bum, right, and then bum, 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 bum. So it's a Travolta to a side plane meltdown, to a Travolta to a side plane meltdown, to a Travolta to a side plane meltdown. Or, jeez. There's a method to my madness. I'm really doing this with you so that I can practice it for myself. So it's really a transition more than a move, right? You're just moving between two things that you know. See how your poi are going clockwise in the meltdown like this? Okay, so you're clockwise and then you do your stall. Then you should come into anti-clockwise and then stall. And then clockwise and stall, and anti-clockwise and stall. And clockwise and stall, and anti-clockwise and stall. I'm not sure you know the meltdown the other way, huh?